The Power of Framing: How Media Shape Democracy. Imagine two news outlets covering the same protest. One reports a violent clash, while the other highlights peaceful demands for change. The facts are identical, but the stories feel worlds apart. This isn't just reporting, it's framing. A powerful tool that shapes our understanding and, ultimately, our democracy. Framing is how media outlets choose angles, words, and context to present facts. It's not fabrication, but it does influence emotions, thoughts, and choices. By emphasizing one aspect over another, framing can make an event look inspiring or alarming, uniting or dividing. The frame of the story shapes it. It directs attention to what is most important. Framing matters because it affects how we perceive issues like immigration, climate change, and elections. It filters reality, helping us make sense of the world, but it can also manipulate narratives for political or financial agendas. Consider the difference between labeling a public figure as a whistleblower versus a traitor. One paints them as heroic, the other as shady. Small word choices plant different emotional reactions in our minds. This is framing at work, often unnoticed, yet incredibly impactful. Images play a similar role. A tearful survivor's photo evokes empathy, while an image of rioters sparks fear. The visual framing can redefine the meaning of the very same event depending on what the author or news outlet wants us to feel. Framing doesn't just tell stories, it shapes them. By setting the lens of focus, media frames guide what we think is important. In democracy, public opinion drives policy. Misinformed or manipulated perspectives, shaped by framing, can lead to distorted priorities. By deciding what gets attention and how it's presented, media holds significant power in steering democratic debate. So how can we recognize frames? Start by comparing multiple sources. The habit of reading laterally across different sources will provide a bigger picture beyond any single narrative. Ask questions. What's the headline focusing on? Are facts being contextualized or sensationalized? Find the original source if possible and look for neutral language that sticks closely to the events without added interpretations. Understanding framing is the first step to reclaiming control over how you interpret the news. It allows us to think independently, question narratives, and better participate in democratic decisions. We can hold media accountable by demanding transparency and fair representation of facts. The stories we believe influence the world we build. Today, challenge yourself to approach news critically. Seek diverse perspectives and demand responsible journalism from commercial media, social media influencers, and independent news sources. Once we are mindful and aware of what we see and why, we can help shape a future where informed citizens drive democracy and are not misled by narratives that only serve the most powerful.